Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name's Kristina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. We are finally down to 2 more of the declutter videos. Today we are doing a makeup declutter of all of my eyeshadows. I am overwhelmed and stressed just thinking about this video. Honestly, I have waited to do my eyeshadows and my lip products until the last half of my makeup declutter. These are products that I absolutely know that I hoard, I hold on to them. I'm going to use these on a later date. These makeup declutter videos have been really therapeutic for me, as well as just very much needed. And I just want to say as a preface, I think it's important to know that I do this for a living, so it's really important for me to have the inventory to be able to talk about different products. Maybe I'm comparing them, maybe I want to bring them back out at a later date, so I do tend to hold on to makeup a lot longer than the average consumer probably does. I am just sharing with you guys what I normally would be decluttering and my thought processes behind what I get rid of and what I keep, and I'm just filming it for you guys. So whether or not I was filming this, I would be saving or getting rid of the same products, really. I know some people were like, you barely even decluttered, or you should have kept this, or you should have gotten rid of this. I was looking back at those comments and I was like, man, you were right. I should have gotten rid of this, or I should have kept this. But then I thought, hold on. I still use my hard-earned money to buy these products for the most part. And if I want to keep it, then I should be able to keep it without feeling bad about it. So I just want to let you guys know that maybe you would approach it differently, and I totally understand that. I just hope that you guys enjoy this as a form of entertainment, purely as background noise as you do something in your day-to-day life, all while I get a little bit of organization done. So if you're interested in going on this little declutter journey with me, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to the part 3, which is eyeshadow palettes. Now this is my eyeshadow drawer. I have my powders, my creams, my liquids, my singles, all of my palettes. Everything is going to be in here, as well as some random lash things in this corner. Now, just so you know, this drawer does go back a little bit more, so there's one column that you guys can't really see. I just want to let you know there's more back there. And also the camera cuts off right here, and I would say I have 2 more rows of eyeshadow palettes right past there. So I tried my best to kind of frame this for you guys. I know I have a ton of eyeshadow palettes specifically that I no longer touch, but it's so hard to get rid of palettes because they just feel like collector's items, and they always feel like products that I can come back to. I'm like, I have it, why would I rebuy it if I have it? At this point, we've got to make room for more palettes. We've got to make room for more products that I can talk about and review for you guys. So let's get started. A majority of the things on top are going to be the ones that I'm still reaching for, the ones that I still pretty much like to use. And I've mentioned recently in recent videos, I am kind of on an eyeshadow journey right now. I'm really loving powdered eyeshadows, colors, really sparkly glam looks. So I'm going to try to cater to what I'm liking currently. So this is a newer palette in my collection. I got this from the Creators and Friends trip to New Orleans. This is from Cleona Cosmetics, and they did gift us with 9 of their stained glass shadows. These are, to say the least, incredible. I am constantly dipping into these days. They're sparkly, they're interesting, they're great toppers, they're great by themselves. So I'm definitely keeping this. And I actually recently purchased more of their eyeshadows on their website for a recent sale. So I'm excited to get that and fill in some of this area. These are some Odin's Eye palettes that I got during Christmas time. They re-released these palettes by popular demand. This is the Christmas Eve palette, and I actually used this to do one of my looks for Vlogmas. An absolute beautiful, insane, cool toned eyeshadow palette. I am just fully obsessed with this. I don't use this enough, but I'm not getting rid of this because it's very new to me. And to go along with that, we do have the Merry Christmas palette. This one I would say is more warm toned, more colorful, and I couldn't get one and not the other. So that's kind of why I got this one. I thought the pops of color were really interesting and fun, just fun things that I can play around with in the future. Again, a newer palette to me. This one is from Fantasy Cosmetica, another indie brand, which I am loving all of these indie eyeshadows. They are so good. But this is the Fighter palette, and oh, just look at that. It's so interesting. The shimmers on these, like this one, Glory, one of my absolute favorite types of duochromes are going to be like these teal, brown, purpley tones, and this palette just delivers. Like, look how gorgeous that is. It's kind of subdued. It's still interesting. These are the kind of shades that for me personally are going to be ones that I am reaching for a long time. And even the mattes in here, they're very nice and buttery, super pigmented. And I can definitely see myself reaching for this palette. So I'm keeping this one as well. This is also a newer palette, one of my newest ones that I got from Sephora. It's the Danessa Myricks Groundworks Blooming Romance palette, and this is the more rosy, more mauve version of her original Groundworks palette, which was all brown tones. And I liked this because they are more of those blush shades as well as like eyeshadow shades that I felt like I could use. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, I don't know how often I would use that, but then I saw actual swatches of these shades and they do lean more neutral, at least this row right here, maybe except for this in Adorn. But they are beautiful. I haven't got enough use out of this just yet, but I'm still playing around with it. And so far, I really like the cream texture and I really like the powders. I'm not crazy about how small these little shadows are, the powder ones, but that pigmentation, I mean, it's great. And it's so interesting, the creamy, oh, I still have glitter on my finger. But it's interesting, the texture of them, because they're kind of like drier creams and they're a little bit moussey. It's almost like if a mousse were to dry down, that's what these feel like. Actually putting them on the face and on the eyes, they're really nice. I know that went on pretty patchy, but every time I've used it on my face, they look really nice. More Odin's Eye eyeshadows. These were like my first eyeshadows because they came out with singles last year and I was like, ooh, I want them. These are so beautiful. Definitely have not gotten to play with these enough, even though I've had them for a year, but I don't know, I just wasn't really using them. Like this green right here, look how gorgeous that is. This one, this purple, has been my favorite, as you can see. It's definitely the most used. This shade right here, they're all so interesting to look at and they're buttery, they're smooth. And why haven't I used this? I couldn't even tell you. I just have not reached for them. But like I said, since I am kind of like on this eyeshadow journey, these bad boys are definitely going to be on my eyes soon, especially that green. Oh my gosh. If you guys haven't looked into Odin's Eye yet, they're seriously some of the best. This ColourPop 1111 palette was sent to me a couple months ago and I actually really like this. I kind of feel like it was a gateway into more neutral to cool tones. I feel like it's versatile. I get good use out of them. I have a good amount of crease shades, which is important for me. And I feel like the shimmers vary in different tones and colors. So I'm keeping this for sure. I still reach for this pretty often. ColourPop Going Coconuts. Everyone absolutely loves this palette for good reason. I think that they're beautiful pinky tones, but also they're cooler. Honestly, for me, this kind of pulls way more cool on me and my eyes and my face than it does on the palette, which is so interesting to me. These are pretty small, so I feel like this is nice if you just want something every once in a while. You're not going to reach into this all the time. But even if you are, I mean, this is very much usable and you could probably hit pan on this pretty quickly. I don't know why it comes off so cool on me. They're definitely more neutral tones. So I don't know, every time I've done a look with this palette, it almost just looks gray, but on here, it doesn't look that way, right? So I think I'll keep it and I will try more looks with this because I feel like this palette, if I can get it to work and I can get more neutral looks from it, it'd be a great travel palette because of the way that it's built. And also, if it broke, I wouldn't be too devastated because this is still easily accessible and it's not super expensive. So I kept this Pac-Man Wet n Wild palette simply because I was like, oh, these are colors that I don't own, so if I ever want them, I have them. But I'm telling you guys, even though these are great, I never reach for this palette. They're kind of like hard, but the quality of them, for being as cheap as this palette was, it's really, really good. I mean, Wet n Wild in general is such a great brand, and they really deliver on their products. And these are fun. I was always like, I can use them for eyeliner, I can use them as pops of color under my lower lash line, like things like that, but I really do not use it, so I think I'm gonna just have to get rid of it. And if I ever am really, really craving powder shadows, these colors, I will seek them out then. So that's basically like all of the eyeshadow palettes that were sitting on top. So now let's like go in different categories here. First off, the one that's like really annoying me are all of my cluster lashes right here. I recently wore some cluster lashes for a wedding that I was in, so that's why it's kind of just like sat on top because I knew I was filming this video. But these are a bunch of my Lash Links lashes. If you're not familiar, I have a whole video on how I use lash clusters and lash ribbons. Lash Links is my favorite brand for them. I love how customizable this is. I love how many different styles they have and different sizes they have. So I'm keeping all of these because I still reach for them. I'm actually wearing some right now. But they come in so many different styles, sizes, and curl length, and I just love them. Definitely keeping that. I just have random boxes too. Like this is the Lilac Street Lash Crystal Coat, and it's empty because I'm using this now, and so is this, the Clear Lilac Lash Glue. I'm just gonna throw that away. The Ciao for Now Lilac Street Lash Remover. This is my favorite lash removing product for clusters and ribbons and stuff, but I can't find it. It's not in here anymore. I don't know where I put it. I'm gonna have to find it. I do have some actual Lilac Street lashes. These are just the originals in 10, 12, and 14 millimeters, and they sent these to me a long time ago. I like them. They're pre-cut lash clusters. Hopefully you can see that there, but I'm gonna keep these. They're really good to have on hand if I'm in a pinch, or if I want something that's travel friendly. I can always reach for these, and these never go bad. I also have these House of Lashes Noir Fairy Light. I've had these for years, but I have not reached for lashes that look like this in so long. These are very, very dramatic and voluminous, and not really something that's in my style or has been for a couple years now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pass this along. I have two of the Crystal Clear lash sealers from Lilac Street. I don't know why I have two, but I'll keep one and then I will pass on the other one. My Lash Links lash pad, it's so dirty. I need to wash this, but this is what I use whenever I cut the lash ribbons. I'll just stick all of the separate lash clusters here so I can use it to glue and like hold it here. So I'm keeping that. Ooh, Shiseido Eyelash Curler Rubber Refill. I was actually just thinking about how I need to change out the rubber on my current lash curler, so I'm gonna be using this. I have more lashes. This is the Kiss Lash Couture in Chiffon. Someone that I worked with at Ulta recommended these. They said it was their favorite lashes, so I got them, but the band also looks really thick, like way thicker than I want. So honestly, I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. Here is that Lilac Street Clear Lash Glue. The Lilac Street Pro Lash Glue. I have a bunch of the NYX glitters. Some of them, actually all of these, are unopened. Probably bought these over 4 years ago. Maybe they had sent them. But look, this is so cute. The little stars. I think I'll keep the stars right here, and also the little hearts, just because that's so, like, the novelty of these is so cute. I feel like I could use this for a fun video. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these pigments. I can't see myself needing it for anything, especially now that I know that indie brands have really beautiful press glitters that are similar to this. Back here, I have this tin. I'm already looking at this and I'm like, I can't get rid of these. These are my MAC loose pigments. Oh my gosh. Oh, and some ColourPop ones. I'm sorry. These are pigments from the Kathleen Lights collection. This is the Goat and the Twins and the Ram. These are gorgeous. I love supporting other creators. So, and Kathleen Lights, I love her. I've always loved her. So I'm keeping these. I don't know if I would actually ever use them. So maybe they'll go in like a little memory box. I got these 3 small MAC pigments and I was like, oh my gosh, these are perfect. They're so small. And these are the only 3 that I've kept through the years because they were the ones that I wanted the most. This one in blue brown, oh my gosh, the way that this had a chokehold on me. This duochrome, this is how I knew I love this type of duochrome, where it's brown, tealish, purplish. They're small enough to where I can justify keeping them, and these colors are just, oh, they're the best. I wore tan on my eyes for years. The girl at the MAC counter actually gave me a sample, and that sample lasted me years. And this chartreuse, I have never used it, but Desi Perkins, if you guys ever remember seeing her wear this chartreuse, like, it sold me. And then I have this beautiful golden olive. I don't even remember purchasing this. Look how beautiful that pigment is. This is giving indie brand. Like, that's beautiful. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh my gosh, I need to wear that, right? I'm pretty sure those are my only loose pigments, which is why I can kind of justify keeping them. These I bought on AliExpress. I saw a video years and years back and I bought a ton of these. I loved this style. They're in the 3D style. They were so beautiful, but again, I just don't wear these anymore. I don't think I ever will, so I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter them. So I have a couple of Pat McGrath shadows that were passed down to me, and honestly, I have not touched them, and I don't think I will. I'm pretty sure they discontinued these. I don't know, they just don't call out to me, and I do have some Pat McGrath palettes I know I'm keeping, so I'll go ahead and get rid of these. Now, we do have a couple of containers, but obviously there's like overflow here, so we'll go ahead and start on the actual containers, starting with some liquid eyeshadows and stick eyeshadows. All right, we're gonna start with this one. We have a couple of eyeshadow primers. I know that the Urban Decay one here in the original is really old, so I'm just gonna go ahead and toss that. And then we also have the Kaleidos Tone Activator Eye Primer. I really liked this. They sent this to me a couple years ago. They actually sent me a few, so I think this is my newest one, and I think I'll keep this on hand because I know it's a really good product, and I think it works really well with glitters too. I have these Smashbox Always On Cream Shadows. They have kind of been sitting there for a really long time. You can see it through the packaging. I was absolutely obsessed with these when I worked at Ulta. I recommended them to everyone. I wore them all the time myself. I love the pops of color, and I also love the muted colors. I think I have more of these. I don't know where they are, but they're definitely old. They're past their date for sure. I'm gonna throw them away because I know that they're old. I have a few Color Fix liquid shadows. This is the Glaze. This is pretty new, so I'm keeping this because I think this is a great topper. And I also have this liquid one in the shade Celebration. Someone recently told me in like my one and done eyeshadow video that they loved this, and I was like, wait, I have that pigment, and I used it. And yeah, they were completely right. It is a gorgeous one and done eyeshadow. These are creamy, they're pigmented. I mean, they layer so well, so I'm definitely keeping this one. Like, look at that color. It's the best. My Rare Beauty liquid shadow in Nearly Neutral. I love this. I've talked about this in my one and done eyeshadow video, so I'm keeping that. 2 more that I know that I'm keeping. This Rabanne Color Shot in the shade Meteor Light, and this Rem Beauty liquid shadow in UFO. I'm just obsessed with these tones. Like, they're so easy to wear. This Meteor Light one I got a couple months ago, and it's just truly so beautiful, metallic, a little taupey, but not so taupey that it looks gray on my skin. And then the Rem UFO, this is a gorgeous shimmer shadow. You can really sheer this out if you wanted to, but you can also build it up. I love the formulation of these REM Beauty liquid shadows. I think they're so nice and buildable, and they dry down really well. I have this Danessa Myricks liquid shadow, again in Rustic though, and this is definitely more orange than I had anticipated that it would be. I don't know if I will be using this anytime soon, not even as a blush or like on the lips. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on because the formulation, beautiful, but it doesn't get enough use from me. The House Labs Pigment in Silver Shimmer. So I wanted this so badly. I wanted it for an eyeliner, and it's gorgeous, but I don't use it as much as I should. But it's such a good, like, almost warm tone silver. Like, there's something about it, the way that it shifts, that makes it look more wearable. And I think I need to actually wear this as a shadow and not only as an eyeliner. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one, and it's pretty new. I mean, it's less than a year old, I'm pretty sure. I have this Alter Ego eyeshadow base. This is really old, so I'm gonna toss that. And then I have this Lottie London Color Cloud Longwear Matte Liquid Eyeshadow. This is in Love and Cocoa. And then I also have this Peri Para Sugar Twinkle in number 1, and the glitter on this is so gorgeous. It's definitely more of a chunky glitter, and this is a great alternative to the Rem Beauty liquid shadows. It's super pigmented though, so you have to be really careful with it, but I really enjoy this, and I like having this more inexpensive one in my collection, so I'm keeping both of these. I have a couple of the e.l.f. liquid shadows, and I do not reach for these ever. I bought them with the intention to like make specific looks, and I just never use them. They're still super liquidy, like that pink shimmer, really pretty, but I don't really reach for those shades anymore. I never really did, to be honest, so I'm gonna pass these along because they're still really good. I just don't use them enough. My Rem Beauty shadows, again, this is my most used. This is the Heart or Less Than 3. It's my most used, and I still don't know how to say it, but it's such a great neutral brown. Also talked about this in my one and done eyeshadow video. We have the shade TTYL, which is a darker, more warm tone brown. And then, of course, we have Fembot, which took over the internet. Like, this shift right here, it's nothing revolutionary, but honestly, for like Ulta and mainstream makeup, this was like, oh my gosh, it's so good, you know what I mean? And it is really good. The formulation is great. It's creamy, it's liquidy. The shift on it, really, really beautiful. I mean, you can't deny that's gorgeous. So keeping all of my Rem Beauty ones. I've got a ton of stick eyeshadows here, mainly my Nude Sticks ones, and then ColourPop. I just spoke about these ColourPop shadow sticks in my one and done eyeshadow video, so I'm keeping these because I still really love these. I just swatched all of my Nude Sticks eye sticks. They just re-released Prism, by the way, which was like one of my favorite. They're all still really nice and creamy, and they feel like they'll all still work on the eyes, so I'm gonna keep them. I have these mini About Face liquid eye paints, and I also have a couple of the full-size ones. I went crazy on these last year. I do not use them, but I feel like they're good alternatives to having powder, like colorful shadows, you know? And I really, really, really want to make these work. Some of them just like go on really splotchy if you try to use them as eyeshadows. And I wanted to use these again as pops of colors when it comes to like eyeliner and stuff. I can't justify getting rid of these because they're all still new and they are still fresh. So I'm keeping those for sure. And I feel like I need to give these a really good go. And last in this container, we do have my Dose of Colors eyeshadows. When these first launched, I bought so many of them. I'm pretty sure I have more than these. I was buying these every other day at Ulta. This one's broken, but I just loved how these felt. I loved how soft they are. They really remind me now of the Victoria Beckham single eyeshadows, but I love these even more because these seem to stay put on my eyes better than the Victoria Beckham ones. The colors of these were so good, so pigmented. I used this one a lot. They're kind of hard now, kind of gritty, but they still swatch beautifully. I just want to show you guys, like, look at that swatch. Wow, wow, wow. Do they still sell these? I hope so, because these are incredible. Insane. They're super old though, and it's really hard for me when it comes to powder products, especially eyeshadows, to be like, oh, it's expired, because honestly they don't really smell, at least these don't, and they still swatch really nice. I think I'll keep them in the collection for now, but I may reconsider and just put them in like a memory box. I'm not sure yet, but these are calling my name, honestly. Another House Labs pigment. This is in Rose Gold Shimmer, keeping that one. Okay, so we emptied this one out, so let's look at kind of like the excess right here. We have some Amicole liquid shadows. These are the Lid Joy liquids in the shades Harlem and Bedstoy. These are recent. They sent these to me only a few months ago, so I'm gonna keep those. We have more stick shadows kind of hiding right here, as long as like brow products, I think. Ooh, there's another ColourPop one. A ColourPop shadow stick from that same collection, so I'm keeping it. A bunch of the Maybelline Tattoo eye sticks. They sent these to me a few months back, so I'm keeping all of those. I really, really like these. They're creamy, they're blendable, and the colors they came out with are super fun. And some of the Rare Beauty shadow sticks. These are nice, but honestly, I don't use them enough. The ones that I really like, I have in my everyday vanity, and those are the ones I reach for. I really do not reach for these, so I think I'll go ahead and pass these along just because I feel like I have powder shadows that are similar to these. I've got some brow products here. These are all opened and I haven't reached for them in probably over a year, so I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter these. I have more of the e.l.f. liquid shadows, but these are actually ones that I used to use a lot. This is in the shade Copper Pop. We have Flirty Bird, which was my absolute favorite, and then we also have Dirty Martini. These are beautiful, but they're very similar to the Stila eyeshadows, where they're very chunky and glittery. And while I really like these shades and I think they're really nice quality, I can't see myself using these the way that I used to use the Stila eyeshadows. If I want this look, I feel like I can get a softer version of it with powder. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass these along just because I don't think I'll be using them, but I know that some of my friends will probably really enjoy these. Oh, this Dirty Martini shade though, it does have glitter. It has like orange glitter in it. Never mind. I don't think that's gonna look good on me. The Anastasia Brow Freeze, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. It's starting to look really funky and I don't use this. Do you guys remember this shadow, the Bobbi Brown Camel shadow? Oh my goodness, the way that this had everyone going absolutely crazy because it's like this pukey color and it was like the first of its kind, at least from what most of us thought. Ooh, it's still so beautiful. I just love that. But I think I'll keep it, if not in my collection, within like my little memory box stash. We have some Kaleidos eyeliners. If you have never used these before, oh my gosh, I cannot say enough good things about these. They're kind of like shifty duochromy eyeliners. I kept them in the box because I really like the boxes, but the actual packaging of these, insane. Like Kaleidos is, oh, it's so good. It's like a bluish, silvery, shifty eyeliner, and all of their eyeliners have this like gorgeous shift to them. They're so unique to me. Oh, and it just broke. I think I was just going a little too hard, but so gorgeous. Definitely keeping those. I think I'll take it out of the box though, because the boxes are pretty bulky. I've got some eyeliners hiding right here. The Makeup by Mario liner, this is the blue one. I'm keeping that. I have some ColourPop ones. These are from the Raw Beauty Christie collection. I'm gonna keep these and put them in a memory box. I actually just recently got some Sephora shadow sticks. This one, I think I got 3, but I'm keeping these because I literally just got them this past month. A Persona Glossier in Rare Beauty liner. I just swatched them right here, keeping them because they're all still really creamy. I have a Tarte Fake Away brightening liner. This one's nice because it's not just like white. It's a little like pinky white, but it's a little bit dry, and I've had this for a long time now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this because I have other ones that I like more than this one. One of the Urban Decay liquid liners. I really like this. This is in the shade Binge, and look at that color. Wow, she's beautiful. I have a ton of these M Cosmetics single shadows. They're so bulky though. I really hate this packaging, but the actual product is really gorgeous. This one in the shade Luna, like look how gorgeously buttery this is. Beautiful, absolute stunner of a shade. So I'm definitely keeping this. I hate to keep it because of how bulky this is, but I cannot deny how beautiful that is and how badly I need to put that on my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Scorpius though. I just don't use these cranberry shades. This one in Helios, I loved the idea again, but I just never reach for it, and I can't imagine myself wanting to put this on my eyes anytime soon. And then Star Child, again, another berry tone. Looks like I never even used it, unfortunately. I know that I have more of these, I just don't know where it is. Like, there's one shade that I used to reach for all the time. It's probably like tucked away somewhere where I used it more often, but yeah, this one never used, but I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. I guess we're just starting to go into like my cream shadows. These are old ColourPop liners and I wanted to keep them as eyeshadows, but they're super old. They're probably dried out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of them. They remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury cream shadows, like the packaging, you know, but not the formula. The formula is definitely different. Speaking of, we have a Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. I'm keeping all of these because this is like one of my top favorite cream shadow formulas. I can't get rid of this. They don't sell it anymore. So I'm like, I need to keep it. This is Dior Show Fusion Mono in Meteor. Alana Davison, she convinced me to get this, and I actually use this a good amount. It just doesn't look like it. It's kind of like this bouncy texture when it comes to an eyeshadow. Like, it definitely has more of a cushiony feeling, and it was such a beautiful sheer shade here. I loved this. It's probably not good to use on the eyes anymore. It's so silky. They need to make this again. I'm sorry. Why did you guys get rid of it? It's incredible. Natasha Denona Crystal Top Coats. You guys remember these? These are definitely hard. They're not as good as they used to be. I still get some color off of it, but it's so super sheer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter that. And I have a few of those. I have these also in nude and peach. I'm gonna declutter those. The ColourPop and Nightmare Before Christmas collection. It looks like I did not cap this correctly, so let's hope that this is still good. This is one of their Jelly Much shadows, more of that moussey texture, you know? Oh no, it's so hard. Does it just need to be mixed? Nah, dude, this is pretty much done. It's dry. Oh man, it's that beautiful duochrome shift, as you guys know, is my favorite. This was gorgeous. I loved this. Holy moly. That is so pretty, but so not good anymore. I'm really sad to get rid of this. I have a bunch of Phytosurgence cream shadows, which I will be keeping. This is actually a blush. I need to put this in my blush drawer. I recently purchased more. This is Mellow Mycelium and Hypnotic Honey. They're absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, the best. Yeah, I'm keeping all my Phytosurgence. I'm pretty sure these are all of them and I love them. Some of the ones I got last year I feel like are starting to dry out a bit, so I'm like, oh man, they don't last very long. But I'm pretty sure cream shadows are only supposed to last like a year or so anyways, right? I'm not quite sure, but I can still get good use out of them, and especially the ones that I just purchased, so of course keeping those. I have this Flower Beauty Chrome Crush Pressed Pigment in the shade Quartz. This is beautiful. Again, I just don't reach for it, so I'm gonna pass this along. I have some Jelly Much shadows from ColourPop. Oh, and this one from Morphe too. That's gonna go. That's definitely old. But these Jelly Much shadows, again, shades I don't think I will reach for. I was feeling adventurous. I was feeling like I wanted to wear these shades, but I never did, so I gotta say bye. Super Shock Shadow in La La from ColourPop. This is super old. It's already hit pan. Should I just use it up? Maybe I'll just use it up. Two more Charlotte Tilbury cream shadows. They're still in the box because I just bought this during the last Sephora savings event, so I'm keeping it. Okay, these put me in a pickle. These Victoria Beckham shadows in Honey and Tea Rose. They are beautiful. They swatch beautiful. They feel great. They're more of this softer pigment. That one is Honey and this is Tea Rose. They're just really beautiful. They swatch beautifully as well. But the thing with these, they kind of crease on my eyes and they're a little bit hard already. And I bought these during the holidays, I think, during the sale. I don't know, the quality of these are not as good as they should be considering the price of them. They're really beautiful and I want to make them work. Like, I feel like these are beautiful if you want more of a sheer or subtle eye look, I guess. But I need to figure out how to pair this with an eye primer to where they're not going to crease. I'm going to hold on to these. I still feel like I need to give them a chance and get them to work because they really are beautiful. But if they continue to crease on me, I'm just going to have to declutter them. Along with this, my first one in the shade Mink. I talked about Mink in my one and done eyeshadow, how I wanted to include it, but it was just creasing like crazy. And Mink feels a little different. Like, this one feels more like a loose pigment versus the other two, which feel more like a creamy powder. Mink, for some reason, gives way more pigmentation, but it also creases a lot. I need to figure out how to wear these. Like, look at that pigment. Holy moly, compared to these two. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, but they're just gorgeous and I need to get them to work. This ColourPop Jelly Mud Shadow might be the only one that I keep, again, because of the duochrome on this. Can you guys guess what it is? Yes, you guessed it correctly. This is in the shade Late Bloomer. Oh no, she is also dry. I'm convinced this is the same one as the Nightmare Before Christmas one. Well, no, this one's more bluish purple. Oh, she's dry as heck. Never mind. These About Face eye paints, this was their original packaging, and honestly, I hate this packaging. It's so bulky, and because of that, I never reach for these. I don't know. I haven't wanted to use them, and I'm pretty sure that I got some of them in the new package. I'm not really sure. But I think these are gonna have to go. We've got more Kaleidos eyeliners, more Urban Decay Rare Beauty. This is the liquid shadow from Pixie, and I got this a few months ago. This is in the shade Crystalline. It's very glittery, but I don't know, it's not really exactly what I expected it to be, but I feel like I need to give it a good go, like wear it a few times before I decide if I'm going to declutter it. All right, more cream shadows. So again, we do have some Raw Beauty Kristi back here. Again, keeping these because Raw Beauty Kristi is that girl. We've got all of my Kaja eye bentos here, and I'm keeping all of them. I made it a personal mission to collect all of them because these are some of the most slept on eyeshadow formulations. You guys need to get these. I mean, you get 3 shadows. They're pretty expensive, to be honest, because they are quite small, but the quality on these, they feel so buttery smooth. They are so easy to blend. I cannot rave about these enough. You get mattes, you get shimmers. They are just incredible, and sometimes you can catch them on sale, so I would highly recommend these. Really love these. My absolute favorite is gonna be Spiked Ginger. This is Spiked Ginger right here. I mean, it's just incredible. I've really been loving Chocolate Dahlia. Like, these tones are literally everything to me. My Kulfi Cream shadows, these are yummy. They're so good. They're creamy. Bronze Brocade is definitely my favorite. And I just talked about how, like, these cranberry shades are not my fave. But I don't know. I can't get rid of these just yet because they're not old. Ooh, they're hard to open for sure. Yikes. Like, they look like they have that more moussey texture, but they dry down kind of like a film. But they stay on your eyes literally all day. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh. Auburn Aura, I have gotten the least amount of use because, again, it is that cranberry shade. I got this during the holidays and I was like, I'm gonna do a fun cranberry look, and I never did. But I don't know. I can't get rid of it because it's still so fresh. Yummy. Those are so good. Sitar Sparkle, I feel like I can make it look a little less pinky, a little less berry toned if I paired it with enough browns. I think I'm going to keep all of these just because they're fresh, they're new. I'm still loving the formula, and it's just so good. I've got some Merit Solo Shadows here. These are still new and I'm still enjoying them, so I'm going to keep those. This Tarte Cream Shadow, is so gorgeous. This is in the shade Martini, but again, it's probably not good anymore. I don't think I'll use it. While I can admire it, I need to get rid of it. It's taking up a lot of space. And this Marc Jacobs one, I could cry. This is in the shade Sequins. Marc Jacobs is no longer a cosmetic brand. However, I think they just announced they're coming back. And this one is like that loose pigment. And it's very similar to the Victoria Beckham one, but they did this one so well. Like the pigmentation, the staying power. Ugh. I could die. I could die. I'm keeping this. If they ever come out with these single shadows again, I kind of want to like compare it, you know, especially if they come out with the shade again. I really hope they do. Some Hourglass Scattered Lights in the shade Reflect and Smoke. I'm keeping these. You guys know my absolute love for these. I talked about this again in my one and done eyeshadow video. Some Sephora collection single shadows. These are fairly new to my collection. I think I got them, I started getting them around like October, November of last year, and I got a good amount of them. Some of them I think are better than others, but I'm not ready to get rid of any of them because I feel like I need to give them a better shot, so I'm gonna keep these. I have one Rabanne Duo. This is in Date Night. This is nice, but it wasn't like everything that I wanted it to be, honestly. They're not too like bam in your face, which is kind of why I want to hold on to them, because they can kind of act like more sheer shadows. So I'm gonna hold this for a little while longer. Another Jelly Much. Oh, this is in Shiny Penny. I think this is most likely dried out, if the other ones are too. Yeah, that's dry. So pretty though. Ugh. Some Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows. Keeping these because I adore these. This one's my absolute favorite. Can you guess why? Yeah, it's the Duochrome. This is Solstice. I sold so many people on this one when I worked at Ulta because I just raved and raved and raved about them. This is a single Odin's Eye, which I'm going to keep. Do you guys remember this? L'Oreal Infallible's Amber Rush eyeshadow. This is super old, but I repurchased this actually, I think twice. It's a beautiful rose gold. Nothing that I would probably reach for these days, and this is definitely old, so I'm going to get rid of it. But I'm pretty sure they still sell this, so if I really wanted it again, I would repurchase. Oh my gosh, another Marc Jacobs in... Oh, I thought the color was Sequins. This is in the shade Blitz Glitz. And the previous one is Topaz Flash. So again, keeping these in case they bring them back. An Ulta Bouncy eyeshadow in the shade Italian Ice. I like these. These are nice. An e.l.f. Duochrome liquid shadow. This is the only one I own. It's mermazing and I'm going to keep it. It's still boxed. I bought this the last couple months and maybe I can do a fun look with this. Ooh, I have a Catrice liquid metal eyeshadow. This is beautiful. This is Under Treasure. Look at that embossing and like the color or texture to it. So fun. I really thought these were a bit more shiny and metallic. It's nice, but it's not like liquid metal type, so I think I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And then only thing left in my single shadows are these ColourPop ones, so I'm just gonna go through them really quickly and get rid of the ones that are old or just like not quality anymore. Okay, we've gotten rid of all the single shadows. I'm just gonna remove this for now. Now you guys, it's time to tackle all of the palettes, and I'm just gonna pull out the ones that I know for sure I'm keeping, starting with these Pat McGrath ones. These are some Mothership palettes that I own. I'm keeping these. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They're still Pat McGrath quality. If you know, you know. This Natasha Denona Glam Face palette. This is fairly new. This was my first Natasha Denona palette actually, and I think it's the only one that I kept. I love this. I think it's so good. Keeping that. Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 3 The Experience palette. I bought this as like one of my first Danessa Myricks orders. I thought this was so pretty and I've only swatched these. I've never used it, so I need to use this. This is pretty new, the LA Girl Glow Envy eyeshadow palette. I bought this because of my friend Magdalene Janet. She had this on and she said that this is what she was wearing, so I was like, say less. And then I used it in a drugstore makeup video and I really love the quality of it. My Patrick Ta Major Dimensions eyeshadow palette, the first one, my first Patrick Ta palette, and it's so beautiful. I'm keeping this. Such gorgeous warm tones, and I love the Patrick Ta eyeshadow formulations. I have this Clio Street Brick Pro Eye Palette. I love this. I got this from a Yes Style video that I did with them, and this is such good quality, guys. Some memory palettes. Do you guys remember her? This is the Tati Beauty Volume 1 palette before they went out of business. What a sad, sad day. I'm definitely keeping her. Another memory palette, the Dose of Colors Katie and Desi Perkins palette. Absolute banger. Keeping this for sure for memories. I've got a couple What's Up Beauty eyeshadow palettes that I don't feel like I ever gave enough of a chance to. This is the Monsoon and the Geodes palette. They're absolutely beautiful. I love dipping my finger into these. The Earth-like one, my favorite duochrome, as you guys can see. Ugh, these are so nice. These are definitely beautiful. I'm going to have to give these a good go. So I'm keeping these. Especially in my eyeshadow journey, I feel like these are gonna definitely have a place in that journey. More memory palettes. My Anastasia palettes. These are, I think, the only two that I kept. I could be wrong, but the Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam. I use Soft Glam like nobody's business, but look, I actually hit pan on this. Burnt Orange was that girl. I loved this palette. It's so good, so I'm keeping that. And of course, Modern Renaissance, right? If you ever wore makeup, if you ever wore eyeshadow, this had to have been in your collection. Do you guys remember the Pure and Raw Beauty Christie pigment palette? It's a dual-sided palette, which I was like, girl, you are so creative. Like, I loved this idea. Like, it was just so smart. You have the neutrals, you have the pops. I'm keeping her. I'm keeping her for my mems. I have more of the Pat McGrath Mothership palettes here. I'm keeping these. It doesn't even matter which ones they are. Just know I'm keeping them. My Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 4 palette. Yeah, I never really dipped into this, but I was dying. Like, I wanted this so bad. The swatches, the eyeshadow looks, the way that this made me think like I am about to become a makeup artist. I loved the look of this, and I never played with it enough, so I'm keeping it, and I'm actually going to play with it because these shades, I feel like, are going to spark something in me. Still, this is still an inspiring palette for me. I love Sada E and ColourPop Through My Eyes palette. I'm keeping this. Why? Why, guys? Answer that for mems. Okay, now to get into some that I'm seeing and I'm like, I can definitely get rid of them. I can make room for other palettes. Starting with the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I wanted to love this so badly. Everyone loved it. Everyone made beautiful eyeshadow looks with it, but for me, everything just kind of fell short. The colors were a little bit more dull, toned down than I wanted them to be, and also this is just super, super old, so I can't even justify keeping it for memories because I don't have great memories with this one, so she's gonna go. This e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette, again, this kind of just fell short for me. The colors were a little dull, a little bit muddy whenever I would use them, and the shimmers were just not as shimmery as I wanted them to be. Artist Couture Midnight Maven, probably one of the longest standing palettes in my collection. Love this packaging, so simple and sleek. And I was always like, I'm gonna use this. And I did use these a few times, but nothing ever really stuck. So I'm gonna have to say bye. Huda Beauty Nude Medium. This never stuck for me. It's very pink, it's very warm. So this is gonna go. This Beauty Crop Vitamin Babe eyeshadow palette, so gorgeous, but I'm learning these orange tones. I don't think are ever gonna be my cup of tea. I don't think they're ever gonna be something that I am reaching for that often. So this is gonna go as well. Same with the ColourPop Orange You Glad. I remember making such fun eyeshadow looks and loving them back then, and I look back and I'm like, that was beautiful, but I don't think that I'm gonna be wearing these orange shades for a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I remember really enjoying this, but now looking at it, these shades just don't call to me anymore. It's old, and it's probably past her time. Oh look, and this shadow right here, is that mold? Are we seeing mold right there? Do you see how it's discolored? That's scary. Okay, well, goodbye. Another one that I kept because I wanted the bright colors, but I'm just not going to use it. I think I got this in like a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy bag. Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal. These are fun. These are great for someone else. Okay, I have a couple of the e.l.f. bite-sized shadows. I really like this formulation. They're so great in a pinch, but also just in general. And I think the only one I want to get rid of is this Good Vibes Only one. The other ones that I have here, I think I will keep. Actually, is this a blush? This is a blush, and I don't think I need it, so I'm gonna pass that along. So these two are gonna go. Ooh, this M Cosmetics Divine Skies eyeshadow palette. I wanted so bad for M Cosmetics to be my personality. I wanted to be that girl. I wanted to be Michelle Phan. And it just never stuck. Like, these are beautiful, but these tones are not gonna be my everyday tones. I did really like this palette, but I can't even justify putting it in my memory box because I don't think I used it that much. So I'm just gonna get rid of this one. Memory box, Dose of Colors, and I Love Sada E. Beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, Lawless the One. This is the lavender one, and this is pretty new. Within the last year, they sent this to me, so I'm gonna keep that. So I used this CoverGirl eyeshadow palette in a video, and I did like the look I came up with, but just looking at it, I feel like I have shades like this. I don't really need a quad like this separate from any other palette that this might already be in, and it's just really warm, so I'm gonna pass that along. This Romand eyeshadow palette I actually really enjoy, and there's something about Asian makeup products that I love it, so I'm keeping this. The quality of this is so nice, and I also love just how small, how compact this is, but you also get a lot of shades in here. Dose of Colors, I think we can all agree, was one of the most popular eyeshadow brands back in the day. Can we agree on that? I love these palettes. They're so good. I know it doesn't look like I use Blushing Berries often, but trust me, I used it a lot. I think I had used it so much that this was like my second one, if I'm correct. And Baked Browns was that girl. Like, you guys can see just how dirty this is because I used it so much. I'm gonna keep these. I should probably repurchase them because these are very old, but definitely keeping in case I feel like I can still use them. But if I can't, then I will probably repurchase. This Persona eyeshadow palette, really pretty, nice shades, good quality, but it's nothing that I felt like I absolutely needed the way that I absolutely need the Persona multi-sticks, you know? And I don't reach for this, so I'm gonna pass this along because I think it's really good, and I know a lot of friends that I think would get good use out of this. ColourPop's Limoncello, this packaging just was everything to me and more. I think I pressed this back because it broke on me. This is beautiful. I kind of want to keep it. I kind of want to keep it for the packaging. Oh, it's still so buttery. Look at that Capri shade. Semi-Fredo. Definitely doesn't feel like the softest, most buttery mattes in the world, but they're also not the worst. I love these tones. I feel like these are definitely tones that I'm going for these days. Wow, she's pretty. Should I keep it? It's old. It's really old, but I think I'll keep it. See, I'm struggling with my Juvia's Place ones because these are such good quality. I went through a phase actually where I bought a lot of them. Like, I have the mauves, I have the violets, I have the Nubian, I've got the berries, because the quality on these are just so good. But am I using these purples? No, I'm not. I know this one can go. The violets can go. The berries, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, but I don't use them, so I need to make room. She's gotta go. I think I'll keep the Nubian because this one is something that I can justify using. The mauves, did I even open this? Oh yeah, I did. The mauves are not going to be used. I have this Revolution palette. They sent this to me a while back. This is the Festive Allure palette. Really pretty, but very cool tone, and not in the cool tone that I like. Like, these look like they're all just going to be gray on me, so I'm going to pass this along. I have a couple of Alter Ego palettes. I have the Goddess palette and Harmony. I believe I bought Goddess and they sent Harmony. I forget which palette this is supposed to be a dupe for. I think like Natasha Denona. And then I think this is a Modern Renaissance Anastasia dupe. I don't know. I really like these though. And I really like Alter Ego. I'm tempted to keep this one. Let's swatch them. Let's do Cassandra, Juno, Valkyrie, and Freya. Maybe it's because these are old, but they're kind of powdery. Like, do you see that? Oh, that one swatched well. That one did not. And okay, I think maybe because they're old, but that did not swatch great. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of both of them then. But I did really, really like these palettes. They were such good quality. I mean, they're such a good price point. Really love Alter Ego. I'm gonna have to check out their stuff again. Mems, baby. This is ColourPop Dream Street with Kathleen. At Forest Sight with Raw Beauty Christy. Are all my eyeshadow palettes memory palettes? Maybe. Ooh, I have an Ace Beauté Grandiose palette that they sent me such a long time ago. And I never wanted to get rid of it because it was my only Ace Beauté palette, but I do not use it. I know that they have great quality, so I might just buy a palette from them that I think I'll like. These are two that I know I'm keeping. The Kaleidos Escape Pod. This is going to be my go-to for bright, colorful, fun, pigmented shades. This is such a good palette. If you guys have never used it, it is high quality, and these bright shades are to die for. And then my Florist palette. I have a couple Florist palettes, I'm sure. I could cry. This is so absolutely stunning. And again, look, my favorite duochrome. More Kaleidos palettes. I loved Kaleidos. And not even like because I was using shadow that much, to be 1000% honest with you guys. It was mainly because the packaging and I liked looking at the shades. That is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, I feel like I've gotten rid of a good amount of palettes to where I can keep these because they're pretty sleek. And I feel like I want to play around with the colors before I actually get rid of them. This e.l.f. Electric Mood palette, it was good, but again, not like killer good. This shade probably is the reason why I kept it in here because that was such a good shade. But honestly, I just made an order to Odin's Eye. I made an order for Adept Cosmetics and Cleona. So all of the shimmers I could want are coming, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Oh my gosh, my Sephora Z palette. You guys, this is definitely a memory palette right here. What even is this? To the 10 from ColourPop, I think. What's this? Glass Bowl. Oh my gosh, Glass Bowl was, again, one of the first duochromes of this kind that I had tried, and I was like, I love this. Like, this is my personality. And I think this was my first like shadow of this duochrome, and I loved it. Oh, it's so sheer now, but it layers well, I promise. I don't even know what these shadows are, but I'm keeping this because I was obsessed with all of these just for memories again. I've got more Kaleidos. I have two. This is Glowing Iris and Flowing Haze. I just love Kaleidos products so much, but I need to pass this one on. This is the Iris one. Also not going to use this. This Dior one, I never reached for this, but I feel like my mom would really like this. Okay, coming down to the end, you guys. Another memory one, Dose of Colors, Katie and Desi. Do you guys have this? Tell me if you do. Pat McGrath, again, this is a newer one, so I'm keeping this one. The Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana palette. I actually got this because of Teffy. Teffy on TikTok. It's gorgeous, and I'm keeping it. Look at that blue. What did I do to that blue? This Nakia and Morphe one, I think I can get rid of this one. Again, a bunch of fun colors that I never touch. Oh my gosh, Makeup Revolution and Emily. The Emily Edit. This is Emily Noel's palette. I barely used this palette, but I love my girl Emily, so I'm gonna keep it. Another curated Z palette with a bunch of MAC, ColourPop, and random shadows in here. Like, you can see the ones that I love the most, but I'm telling you guys, I used this palette like no other. This was my travel palette. This was my everyday palette. This was my go-to. So I don't know. I feel like I could do a fun little memory video with this. You think? They are like probably pushing maybe 8 to 10 years old. I'm gonna keep it. Leave me alone. And lastly, the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I have gone back and forth on Jaclyn Hill and her products. This was so iconic. Honestly, this was such a revolutionary palette, I feel like, in the makeup industry. Not because the shades were anything different, but because of the influence that this had on the makeup industry as a whole. I may keep it for that reason, but I will tell you guys, I don't think I'm touching it ever again, like putting it on my face. That is the whole drawer empty. I'm gonna reorganize real quick and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so I just finished putting everything back into the drawer and here is what we're looking at. I know that it still looks super full because it is. I'm not even gonna lie. I still have a lot of eyeshadow palettes here and most of the memory things are going to be past like this area where you guys can't see. Like there's that little, I would say maybe another like 6 inches past where you guys can see, where I was able to kind of tuck in all of like my memory palettes, my memory dose of eyeshadows and ColourPop collection collaboration things, and we also have those cluster lashes back here as well. But everything is really nice because it's all one layer, nothing is like stacked on top. I have a little bit of room to add some more eyeshadow palettes here, which honestly for me I think is plenty for now. There's still an area behind here that is also empty. And then all of my cream and potted shadows are just right here. Liquid ones here as well, nice and stacked up so I can see it from a top view. And then all of our eyeliners and shadow sticks are here as well. These are kind of stacked, but I think it'll do. I know where everything is at, so I'll know to look here. But yeah, it's looking a lot neater in my opinion. I could probably go in a second time to really go and be ruthless and get rid of more if I really have to. But honestly, this is looking so much better and way less intimidating for me. So I'm really happy with how this drawer is looking, and I'm just so glad that I can see everything without having to rummage around. This is our finished product. All right, everybody, that was the end of the eyeshadow, the part 3 of my makeup declutter video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below how you think I did. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys in the last portion of our makeup declutter. Bye guys.